This is the cycle split squat jump. So you're going to switch foot positions in midair by keeping your good knee alignment, getting up as high as you can, getting up, back up into the air as fast as you can. But again, you have the functional isometric, or FI, squat jump and hold. So it will be 3 squat jumps, and then holding your good squat position for 5 seconds. And while you're holding that position, think about tightening your quads, tightening your glutes, even squeezing at your groins. I don't want you pulling your knees in, but almost like you're trying to pull your feet together. You should be about this low in your squat position. As you fatigue, you'll kind of creep it up to here, and you obviously cannot put your hands on your thigh. Well, you can, but you're not allowed to. The glute bridge, this one where you hug your knee into your chest, which limits how high you can lift your hips, but it also prevents you from hyperextending your back as you do your glute bridge. So when you hug that knee in, make sure as you lift, you don't let the knee come out, and lift everything up together. Sometimes when people do this, when they kind of roll their bum up, don't roll your bum up. Push your heel into the floor to lift your hips. And notice that my heel is really close to my butt. So it's putting my hamstrings in a shortened position and forcing my glutes to hopefully do more of the work. When you do this QL crunch, you're going to reach around to your back to really make sure you're feeling the muscles that we want to work. So here's my spine. I'm going to go just outside my spine, but not up onto my big back extensor muscles. So just between my back extensors and my vertebra. And then I'm just lifting my feet off the floor. And as I do, I should feel the muscles that I'm palpating just tense and relax. Tense and relax. Seated hip internal rotation, you just sit up on something high, like the coffee table or kitchen table. Stay up tall in your torso, don't get all slumped down. I'm really using this as a mobility exercise. You should be getting at least as wide as I am, if not a little bit wider. This is when you're in your butterfly. This is what's going to help get your pads covering the bottom of the net. This is a supine Minivan hip extension. So I have the Minivan attached to my insteps. And make sure it's right down over your instep. Don't leave it up on your toes, or else it might fall off and smack you one. I'm bringing my knees up towards my chest as far as I can get them. And I want to keep them there. Then I just extend one leg, keeping this knee pulled up, using my muscles. I can't use my hands to do it. That defeats the purpose. So what I'm getting is, I'm getting activation of my glute on this side. And you reach around and feel, make sure that your glute is tightening as you get to the end of that push. But you'll also feel it deep in the front of this hip, because your deep hip flexor, your iliopsoas, is working to hold that position. Big thing here, only go as far as you can without arching your back. So if your back arches as you do that, you're not controlling your core. So I put my hands here, I can feel if I push my belly out or my back starts to arch, I'm going to feel it. This is Superman with a flare. So it's your normal Superman position, but you're going to hold the flare. It puts a little more stress on your glutes, on your hip, and just changes the angle across your torso a little bit. This is your low walk lateral with the Minivan. So you need to stay in a nice low position. Your hips should stay level. Your shoulders should stay level. So as you fatigue, you'll start to teeter-totter a bit, and then you're not getting these muscles working. So stay low. Your chest stays up. Your body stays level as you go. Sometimes people will drag this back leg, so they'll take a step and then drag it in. Don't do that, because what you're doing is using friction from the floor to do some of the work, to take some of the load off your hips. This leg stepping and this leg returning, they're both doing equal and opposite amounts of work, and they're both equally important. Let me show you how low you should stay as you do that, and keep your chest up as you go along. This is your sumo squat to press. So you're going to take double hip width stance. Your toes are pointed out slightly. You're going to squat down, but here is where you'll press. And I'd like you to alternate press, but keep your hips and shoulders level. So don't, as you go, just come down, hold that position strong, press. When you do dumbbell row on the Bosu, keep your feet right close to one another. I don't want your ankles kind of rolling over this way. So keep your feet up, nice neutral back position, getting that nice dumbbell row. Single-legged stiff-leg deadlift. I'm keeping my hips level, not opening up. Squeezing my bum into my hamstrings to come back up. It's one of my favorite exercises from the front. So jump on your extreme balance board. I hope I don't embarrass myself too badly. And catch and pass ball off the wall. So it makes you have to stabilize. Hey, how's that? Left-handed. Not bad, eh? So make sure you have to stabilize. And then also occupy your mind with other things. Just the same way in the game, you have to be in position, but you also have to be thinking about where the puck's going, who's in what position, who's moving, who's in front of the net, seeing around who's in front of the net. You're busy guys, you have a lot to think about. This is a dumbbell push-up to row. It requires upper body strength, it requires shoulder stability, and core stabilization. So basically you'll set yourself up with your hands a little bit closer together, your feet a little bit wider. You'll push up and then maintain level shoulders and hips as you row. Don't pull with rotation. The idea is to stabilize while you're exerting that force, not to use your body to help with the force. At least in this particular version of the dumbbell push-up to row. It's a deep squat with a stick overhead, and it's really a mobility exercise. So keeping that stick straight over your head, squatting down. Try to get low in your hips, sitting back with your rear end. As you come down, don't let the stick drift forward. And you can notice that every few reps I bring my feet a little bit closer to being directly underneath me. Ideally that's where I want to go, because eventually I want to be doing a deep squat without the ball at all. This is a bungee torso rotation from your butterfly position. So you want to try to get as flat as you can. That's into hip internal rotation. Then you're going to rotate around. This is not going to be a big rotation because I can't really pivot on my back toe like I do when I perform the standing version. So I'm just trying to work within my comfortable range of motion. I'm not trying to force a rotation through my lumbar spine. So really most of my rotation is coming from my mid-back between my shoulder blades. But the purpose of this exercise is just to get some of those hip muscles, those oblique muscles working together, putting them under a bit of stress like they might be when you're down in your butterfly position, to train those patterns so that it's not so foreign for them and they're used to it and ready to go.